I'm super hyped today. Do not sleep on this brother. There is nothing that he cannot do. We have writer, actor, producer, and one half of the dynamic duo that is Lewis Productions. We have Brandon Lewis with us in the power plant. Brother, how you living?
Hey, I'm living all right. I'm doing okay. I'm here just kind of soaking everything in. It's been 5 years since our first project, and now we're on the cusp of another one. And so I'm excited, about everything that's coming for us.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Okay. Uh, it is now time to get plugged in. We are charged with two things. One, discovering our gift, and two, sharing that gift with the world. And right now, there is somebody out there who is buried under the false narrative that they believe about themselves. And they're going to see this and they're going to know this man here is from where I'm at. And they're going to say, And then when I say where I'm from, where I'm at, I'm not talking about a geographical location. I'm talking about a set of circumstances and a mindset. And they're going to say this man successfully navigated his way out of a place that I cannot see my way out of. Mr. Brandon Lewis, this is your hour to amp the people up with the power of your story. Let's electrify him.
Absolutely. Where do I even start? Me being a comedian, it was kind of taboo as I was growing up to get in trouble telling jokes. This is what happened. I was in school and I would get in trouble telling jokes and joking on people and just being the class clown. And so when it came time for me to actually do something with my life, I took the more traditional route. I went to college. I barely finished high school, but then I got into college and I did fairly well in college and went into the field of social work. But there was something that I had this knack for that no one ever had to teach me to do, and that was to be able to write and make people laugh. And so I gave up a career in social work and went after this dream, and it's taken me a while. It was a lot of everything in the back of my car, in the back seat, when I was trying to make this life for myself. I gave up everything in Albany, Georgia. I was a children's social worker, and I gave that up. Master's in counseling, bachelor's in criminal justice. And, I was working toward the traditional, hey, get a social services job and do that. And I ended up, getting on an open mic at a comedy club. Actually, it wasn't even a comedy club, but just I turned it into a comedy club. And wow. People were laughing. And I said, you know what? I could do this. It took me nothing to do that, and I had to study to do what I'm actually, getting paid and keeping a roof over my head with, so why can't I do this, which feels so much better? It's come so much more naturally to me. And so Ricky Smiley, I hooked up with him. And then next thing I know, I'm here in Dallas doing voiceovers on the radio. And I'm working at Walmart to kind of support that dream. I took a job, at Walmart stocking the shelves,
Let's stop right there. We're going to get back to that.
Yeah.
The power of everything that you just said. Real quick though, what would you tell the 18-year-old version of yourself? And if you would be so kind as to give us a glimpse as to what was going on in that young man's life.
Wow. 18 years old, man, if you're ready for it, here it goes. At 18 years old, I was in the process of flunking out of my first year at Tuskegee University. The whole weight of the world was on my shoulder. I didn't know how to be in college. I kind of drifted through. I took a whole lot of financial aid, and I even got scholarship money to go to Tuskegee, and I squandered it. When I left Tuskegee University, I had 0 usable credit hours after a year of study there.
Wow.
And so that person was undecided, didn't know what he wanted to do with his life. He just knew that he had to get out of his mom's house and, follow the traditional way that you're taught, go get to college, get your education, get a government job, or go work for the post office, or just do something. And so I tried, and I failed miserably. And it's bad when you get to the dorm after the semester's over with, and they got all your stuff already out on the porch. And that's what that's what happened with me. It wasn't no go in and get. No, we brought it out to you. Don't come back. And so I was academically dismissed. That's what it says on my transcript from Tuskegee University, academic dismissal. And my GPA was 0.6, and I'll never forget going home and shaming my mother. At 18 years old, that I flunked out, right? Because I was going to be the first, person in my family to act for, really graduate college and do something with his life. And so I ended up back working a job for $6-7 an hour in a factory. And it was there where I would start to put the pieces of my life back together. And so if I'm talking to that kid, this is part of the process. Nothing is perfect. When you start out, you're what you want to be, and and what you become, maybe the same thing that may not be. And so, I wanted to be a police officer. That's what I wanted to do, go be a police officer. And I found that actually after leaving Tuskegee. I tried to go get into the police academy, and I did some of those things, and on my journey. But telling an 18-year-old now, nobody has any patience, and it's all about patience. It's all about failing. And just because you fail once doesn't mean, that you stop. And, somebody always told me, what do you want to be when you grow up? And, you could be 40 years old, and it's like, well, I'm 40 and it's too late for me to do it. And it's like, man, I'm 40. And then, but the response is always, hey, how old will you be if you don't do it?
Come on.
You're still going to be 40, 50 years old. So go for it. And that's been my motto. I failed, but it took me the failure to actually, and hitting rock bottom to actually have something to place my feet up on to rise back up to the top.
Come on now. That's all right. All right. Can you tell us, because we got to get back to that moment we left off on. Can you tell us the story of how you discovered the gift that lives within you? Because I'm hearing a pattern, and I love it. The traditional route that everybody tells you have to go in order to be successful. What can you tell us the story of how you discovered the gift that lives within you?
Wow. I discovered it in high school because I was winning those. I would get up and win the talent shows, the staff impersonation. So, I went to a all Black Christian boarding school called Piney Woods. It's maybe the only Black boarding school of its kind. Wow. And it was in Piney Woods, Mississippi. And I got there and I immediately started imitating the dorm parents and, the staff. And I got up there and I would do them in class. And then I got up there, this thing they had called Icebreaker. And I would get up there and do these impersonations. Like, who this guy from Los Angeles, California, coming down to Mississippi and clowning these folks? And it was,
that's all right.
Because I used to listen to the radio. I used to always love listening to the radio, and I would try to emulate the voices that I heard on the radio. My favorite wrestlers, Hulk Hogan and Macho Man Randy Savage and all those people, I would try to emulate those and get those voices down. And when I was working a part-time job, I'll never forget, at Turner Job Corps. I was working for Job Corps in Albany, Georgia. And we would do prank calls. And I would practice and create characters on those prank calls. I would call the front desk, the front gate security, and tell them, hey, your food is here. Or I'll call as a Chinese guy. Say, hey, you order a 4-way, a swing fry wire, a fish out four, a compound chicken, an egg roll, a total comes to $44.95. And it's just me playing on the phone. They're thinking they're right. I ain't ordered no Chinese food, but maybe I did, So it's like those are things that I used to do just to mess with them. And then they said, well, you got a gift, man. You should be doing that on stage. You should be somewhere doing that, Yeah. And so I put together like this little reel of me doing voices and stuff. And man, I emailed Ricky Smiley. At that time, it was MySpace. I hit him on MySpace, and he hit me back. He loved it, man. And that's when I knew that I could command with my voice.
Wow.
but I didn't have any faces to the characters that I was creating. So, but that was the start.
That was the start. This story, man, I hope somebody is paying attention. The power of your voice, not anyone else's, your voice. This is phenomenal. This is phenomenal. Okay, can you tell us the story of when and how you discovered you had a responsibility to share that gift that you have within you with the world?
Wow, that's a really really good question. It started with me. Well, go back to Walmart, and I was working in there, and I still had this talent. I was doing these open mics and stuff at the Addison Improv and Arlington Improv, and I would go up there and I would do my thing, and I would still want to do these characters. And so I ended up meeting my wife. This is kind of to make a short story out of this, but we started putting together like little skits and stuff of me doing these characters. The Dale Stevens character that's in Jericho.
Yeah.
Created him on the fly for Ricky Smiley. And and how you say sharing it with the world, I didn't have a face to that voice. And I knew that if I could get him out there, people would listen, would listen to him, and he could be big,
Yeah.
And so we started playing with makeup and stuff because I said, man, you got to get this out to people. You got to, you can't be hitting on the radio waves anymore. You got to get out and put your face out there. And so, who is this character? And so, I thought that one way was to, we painted him up and we did him in whiteface, and it was the most hilarious thing we'd ever done. And then we started to write a short story around Dale Stevens, and it was all comical. But then we started thinking, how could we reach the world with this story? How could we get that out to the world? Yeah. Why would somebody go into whiteface if not but to save his life or someone else's life? Why would he do something so crazy? And that's where Jericho was born.
Wow.
That's how the story of Jericho came about. It was these guys who ran into this place, from a lynch mob to save their own lives, and out comes Dale Stevens. And I thought that there was an important story to tie the civil rights movement into that. And so that I could get that and project that out to get a story out that no one's ever heard before or seen before, but it was a message, a timely message that, and it's something that's still going on today, even though you've never seen the story. It's one that's relatable from now to infinity, And so that's when I was working at Walmart. It was stocking those shelves, and every Friday, or actually, we would get the shipments in, but every Tuesday, at midnight, so like every Monday, one and Tuesday, we would stock all the new release DVDs on the shelf. I would have to stock those DVDs, all the new releases. They come out at midnight, people come and buy them. And I had one that I would share that I had playing on the DVDs, when they used to have little portable DVDs in the glass case playing the movies and stuff. Well, I had my DVD in there, and I was playing what me and my wife had created. And then these customers came in asking, man, what's that one? Where can I buy that one? It's not for sale, but thank you, but this is something me and my wife created. We said, what's one of the funniest things I've ever seen, And so you take that full circle. That was in 2011 when I was working at Walmart. Okay. You say nothing happens overnight,
Right.
You never give up on a dream.
Right.
2018, I go in at midnight in Walmart to stock Jericho on the shelf. Wow. They let me go in there and put the first copies on the shelf, right? And I've been doing this as an employee. Making $8 an hour, and I get to go put my own DVD on the shelf. And Dale Stevens is on this.
Come on.
Right? Dale Stevens is like one of the face of the movie, and I get to put that on the shelf. And, I only wish that customer was there, like, now I got something to sell you. I couldn't sell it to you before, but now I got something to sell you.
Come on.
And so God puts us in these positions to do things, and, you never know. It's like from sleeping in my car, from everything being in the back seat of my car to it getting repossessed, you know, because when I left Albany, Georgia, when I left, I just knew I was about to shock the world, right? But then God humbled me and he told me, well, first, I got to shock you.
Come on.
And there it is, man. You know, there it is.
Wow.
So
the power, because this is really the next question that I have for you. How did you make belief reality?
Wow. You know what? I was too stupid to know that I couldn't make a movie, right? To know that this was impossible to make a movie. Like who just makes a movie, right? Working a 9-to-5 job, who makes a $300,000-$400,000 movie? Wow. You know, we didn't know any better. You know, we got some investors behind us, and I'll go back even further than that. We shot Jericho. The first one was a 10-minute short teaser. We hired a cinematographer because we were shooting stuff on handy cams. We were shooting stuff on cell phones. And it just didn't have the quality. But we knew we had great content. It was like, if we could make this, if we could make this look halfway decent, maybe somebody give us a shot. So we spent about $5,000 of our own money, and we shot a short of what Jericho could be. Right, and that's when we put Dale Stevens in it. And we had just some local actors, but they were really good. And it was a really solid project. And we got it into a film festival, and we won the film festival with it.
Come on.
So I took that and packaged it in a nice email, and I sent out about, maybe I would say at least 1,000 emails to different actors and agents the agents of actors that I was interested in.
Right.
And most people I never heard from. I never heard back from, I would say 995. I never heard back from them.
You just need that one yes.
The 5 I heard from were in the movie.
Come on now.
Right? George Wallace, Joe Marie Payton from Family Matters, Irma P. Hall, right? Soul Food, Greg Daniel, True Blood, now Insecure, and so many other things. Those are people who said yes. They came along the journey with me, and now to this day, we're all good friends. I can call them, text them, and they're all, hey, what's going on? I'm, the woman who just Steve Irwin got on her nerves. This woman's in my movie, know. And George Wallace, right? Jerry Seinfeld's best friend is in my movie, right? He's texting me like once a week with something. Hey, I'm gonna be on Civil Chef, I'm gonna be on this, and hey, how you doing? And we trading jokes back and forth, George and I. He's like, well, I'm gonna try this one. What'd you think about this one? I said, well, yeah, that's all right. What about you think about this one? Who would have ever thought, right? And so that's how it came to be. We ended up, once we got those people gave us money. Wow. People ended up giving us money. Say, oh, we believe in you, And then Jericho was born,
I'm gonna just share this with you. I remember attending the Capital City Black Film Festival, and we were sitting, me and my wife were sitting next to this power couple. I didn't even know who they were. And you said to me, do you have anything in this film festival this year? And I said, no, but I'm learning. I said, what about you? You said, not this year, but I have a project coming next year, but I can't talk about it. And I was like, okay. And that next year, brother, you came with it. Who does that? Who is the indie first-time filmmaker with these A-list people who just come with it to support your dream?
I remember you standing up in the Q&A after the movie was over. I remember that, because we brought Joe Marie and they came there, to support the film, and it's unbelievable. Working I took a 2-week vacation and shot Jericho. I took a 2-week vacation from my job to shoot that movie.
Are y'all listening? Are y'all listening to this?
I still don't know how I did it. My wife took a 2-week vacation from her job. And to tell you the truth, we're about to do the same thing for our next film, but this one is probably going to be it for me, because I think that this one is going to really hit the mark and really be Jericho hit the mark, but this one is going to really elevate us because of the subject matter of what this project's about. But back to what we were saying, I took a 2-week vacation. I had I exhausted all of my leave to do this movie. There were days we got rained out. There were days where we had to pay people to come back and do things over again. It cost us. There were days that we didn't know how we were going to make payroll. Checks bounced, paying people, and we know how we were going to make payroll. And we had to call people, we had to call family. We had to do that to make this movie possible, to make it happen. And I'm so grateful for them. You know, my mom gave me some of her retirement money and everything to make Jericho happen. There was a lot of hands in that saw it through. And so just so happy to see that, you know, when you stay the course, things work out in your favor. You can't give up, you know, and sometimes if you don't see a path, just because you don't see a path doesn't mean that there's something special on the other side of it, you know.
I hope y'all are listening to this. Like I said, there's somebody out there right now. Look, it's me. I'll tell you right now. I'm like, you took a leave from a job for a dream. That's power. That's power. Okay. So I know you're busy, brother. I got one more question for you. Because I could stay here for I could just stay here and take notes. But what would you like to share with the listeners about what's on your horizon that you can share, and how to find you online, how to keep up with you?
Okay. All right. Well, this is a doozy right here. I don't know if I've told you this story about what's leading up to our next project. So Jericho was shot in 2015. And at the ending stages of shooting Jericho, I began to get sick. And I felt, you know, dizzy at times. And, I really don't know how I got through that movie, especially when we were at the paper mill scene, outdoor, 100-degree heat, filming in tight spaces with no AC. So to rewind that a little further back before I jump back to where I was, I hadn't seen my doctor in 2 years since he told me I was pre-diabetic. I walked out and I hey, diabetes, you know, I ignored it like a lot of people do, we're finding out.
Right.
So once I completed Jericho, I had all these symptoms of frequent urination and just dry, just unquenchable thirst. And I went and saw my doctor and he said, man, you got diabetes, man. A1C is out of control. You got type 2 diabetes, and here's a list of these medications that I'm about to put you on. And for the rest of your life, that's it, you know? And then we started saying, okay, and the reason I'm giving you these medications is because I got to protect your heart. I got to protect your kidneys.
Right.
Then it started to hit me. It started to hit home then. But the first thing I did when I left his office was I went to my favorite fast food joint. I got my sweet tea, because it only hurts for a minute, you know, and diabetes is one of these conditions where it slowly kills you, slowly eats
silent. Yeah.
I didn't feel the effects until I started to have problems with my vision and other ailments that began, numbness and things like that. So it got me into said, what can I do about this? I said, I'm not disciplined enough to, you know, become some athlete or, you know, and start working out all of a sudden. It's just not in me anymore.
Right.
So my doctor, when I went to him, he threatened to put me on insulin. And I did not want to stick myself because my A1C was out of control. So you're at a 12 right now. You could be in a coma.
Yeah.
And he said, I'm going to put you on insulin if, you know, right now. I said, no, give me another chance. Please. Don't do this to me. Give me another chance. And he did. And I got it down to a 7.
Okay.
And all the time I was doing that, I made a change, a subtle changes. I stopped drinking the sweet tea and stuff as much. I didn't stop completely.
In Texas, you stopped drinking sweet tea?
I know, right?
Come on.
And so I began writing. I said, what how could I make a change in my life? So I wrote my salvation into my next script entitled Impossible. It
Come
was
on.
entitled 100 because the goal was to lose 100 pounds by the end of the film, which is still the goal. But the film is now titled Impossible because the journey to make this film is impossible. And what we set out to do from the beginning, middle to the end of this film is impossible. Because I'm going to start out this film as a 330-pound man. And
Right.
at the end of it, I'm going to walk out a slim and trim 200-pound police officer.
If anybody can do it, it's
And,
you. Like I told y'all before, there is nothing this brother cannot do. I'm trying to tell y'all, this is spectacular.
and it's not a documentary. It's not a documentary. This is a feature-length film. I got NFL legend Donald Driver, who signed on as our executive producer, and he's
Come on.
not only going to take a cameo in the film as my trainer, he's also going to be my real personal trainer behind the scenes, and there will be a separate documentary following me as I lose weight behind the scenes, just in time to shoot the final reveal, the final reveal scene of the film.
Wow.
10 months later. So,
Wow.
and it's perfectly entitled Impossible for that reason, because we're going to do the impossible.
That's right.
And so the goal with the film is to help inspire people living with type 2 diabetes, heart disease, and any other of those ailments, those causative factors, that lead to other things. And so this is for you.
This is what I'm talking about. It's people like you who we need to shine the light on, who are saying, you know what? This generational curse is stopping with me. I am not going to fast forward this. I'm going to change the narrative of this scenario that plagues often our community so much.
Yeah.
You're saying, no, it's not a death sentence. This is a challenge, and I will make belief reality. Y'all don't believe me? What they say, don't believe me? Just watch. And
right.
we are going to be watching and praying and just being encouraged, and not only just being encouraged, we're going to follow suit. And that is the whole purpose of the AMP Hour edition, is having people who are out there doing it, not just talking, but living it. And brother, I thank you. I thank you.
Awesome. Go ahead. What was it?
No, I was just saying, I thank you for coming on and sharing your story. Where can the followers, where can they find you at? Like what social media, what is it that so that we can follow this journey? How can we find you?
Okay, well, you can find me on Facebook, Brandon Snack Bar Lewis, and you can find me on Instagram. We actually have a page, Impossible the Movie, and that's on Instagram. We also have my own personal page, that's Brandon Snack Bar Lewis. And then, that's how you find me. On Facebook, it is at Impossible Film. That is where you can find us on Facebook. And of course, we have our production company on Facebook, Lewis Taylor Productions, or at Lewis Taylor Productions. And you can keep up with all of our projects there. You can see us behind the scenes. We're actually going scouting in New Mexico this Saturday.
Wow.
So we'll be there hitting the road and getting up there with our cinematographer, so we can I'm taking my drone up there so we can actually pre-capture some of these scenes so we can get ready for when we go into production. We're going to already have this rehearsed. We're going to know every location, every ditch, every mountaintop that I need to climb. You wait till you see what we have in store for you.
Brother, I cannot wait. I'm excited. I'm excited for you. Look, I'm inspired. Everybody who changing lives, changing the narrative. That's what this is all about. Thank you for amping us up with the power of your story. Thank you for your time. God bless you and take care, brother. You just Godspeed on your journey.
I appreciate it. And if you'll have me, once we announce the cast and everything that's going on with the movie, I'd love to come back on and give you first crack at that, because I think we got something I think you're gonna really enjoy.
You ain't said nothing but a word. Everybody, this is again Brandon Lewis. Watch him. Do not sleep on this, brother. I'm telling you. All right, everybody. Thank you. And tune back in. We are going to continue to amp you up with real life stories of people who are out there changing the world. One life, one decision, one dream at a time. Make believe reality. Stay connected. All right. Take
Bless you,
care.
brother. Oh, and I'll say one thing: you can catch Jericho. It's streaming now on Amazon Prime, and it's on Tubi TV. So if you it's on Zumo. It's also on IMDb TV. It's almost on every streaming device, so or outlet. So enjoy it. Have a good time. It's free on most of these sites.
To change the narrative in your life, take the next step. Invest in yourself and book a life strategy coaching session with me at www.beliefinteriordesign.com. Let's start the journey of making belief reality.